Hi, welcome to the second episode of Longshore's Lifelines. This is Hector, I'm Tim, and this is Steven. We're going to ask some boating safety questions that we frequently get today. So Steve, why don't you go ahead and take the first one?
All right, so one of the first question I get quite often is, as a boat operator, how many life jackets and what type of life jackets do I need on board per person? So basically, the rule is one life jacket per person on each boat. It has to be a quality PDF in good working condition, so not all tore up, or it must have a buckle, somewhere to safely clasp it around you. But one life jacket per person.
And that's got to be Coast Guard approved, right?
Yes, it does. That's correct. That's
what
correct.
type of life jacket is this one?
That's a Type 1.
All right.
Okay.
Usually orange, yellow, but Type 1.
Now, a ski vest will work too, right? If it's Coast Guard approved.
If it's Coast Guard approved, it'll
right.
work.
And the inflatables and the self-inflatables will work also, as long as it's approved.
That's a new thing. A lot of people are enjoying that, so it's comfortable to wear. Yes.
What other questions are you getting lately?
So the next one that we've been getting quite often is, what safety gear should I have on the boat? So there's quite a bit of things you have to have on the boat. Again, one life jacket per person, an emergency flare kit, a signaling device kit. So we usually keep on our boats a red and an orange flare, as Hector is going to get these things out. So that's going to be your orange signaling flare there. And another important thing, on each flare, they're going to have an expiration date on them. So you want to make sure that the dates are current, so that they're still good. First aid kit's good to have on board. Some sort of signaling device, sound like air horn or a whistle is good. But
that's mandatory to have a sound device, depending on the size boat. Typically on our Coast Guard safety kits, we'll also include a whistle, which is always a good thing to have. Hector, why don't you show the other important item over there that all boats are required to have?
Definitely a trouble cushion.
Yeah, so basically you can toss that over to anybody that goes overboard. As you see the handles there, so it's easy to grab a hold of. You can put your arms through it to kind of stay buoyant, or if you need to tie a rope to it to pull somebody in. But another device that needs to be on the boat.
You also have to have a fire extinguisher on each and every boat, depending on size, but primarily you have to have a fire extinguisher. Also, as you get into the bigger boats, you have to have multiple and different types of fire extinguishers.
Correct.
Also, what's the next question we have here?
So the third question we got that is quite often is, what is safe boating? Does my certificate expire? Do I have to retake the course, and how long does the course take?
Let me take that one. Boating safety can be the difference between a good day or a bad day. So I will say knowledge. You need to know where you at. Also know the waterway where you will be boating. Make sure you are familiar with the local charts. Keep a good lookout. Where are you boating? Boat safety check. Always is very important to keep the maintenance on the boat or any engines. Carry at least 2 means of communications. That's mean a cell phone or a VHF radio. Answer the next question about if my certificate expire. It doesn't. You take it once and it doesn't expire. You don't have to pay for that again.
Okay. One other thing about safe boating, obviously Stephen talked a lot about safety gear. Know your safety gear, and also you definitely want to check your weather before you go out. Knowing if your storms are coming in or there's a front, that's really important to know. So check your weather, and obviously you would want to check our tides too, because we do have to work with tides a lot. So you want to check your tides before you go out each and every time, so you know what situation you're going into with tides. Never go exploring on a falling tide is good advice that I once heard. So
I agree.
What's our next question there, Steve?
All right, so the next question is another safety thing. It's basically about wake, going by other boaters or pulling into a marina. What is wake? I mean,
So wake is the turbulence that's created by a boat as it moves through the water. Now, generally speaking, in South Carolina, we have no wake zones. Wake zones are posted as such, no wake zone. And you want to have the boat at displacement speed, which means completely settled in the water, and you want to throw just basically a ripple and have the speed of the boat enough where you can maintain safe steerage. Okay. Now, a lot of the questions that I get are, what about around docks and people where there, or other boaters where there's not necessarily a no wake zone, and it's common courtesy. So if you're going by docks or people swimming or boats rafted up, you definitely want to slow down and not throw a wake. You as a boater are always responsible for your own wake, so if you cause damage or injury, that is on you. So you definitely want to slow down when you're around anchorages or people's docks. General rule is beyond 50 yards. 50 yards and closer, you want to be off plane and at a slow speed so you're not throwing a big wake. The other question, of course, that I get frequently is, what's a float plan? And essentially a float plan is just letting someone know where you're going. So if you're going offshore fishing, you want to tell people, yeah, I'm going straight out, I'm going straight east, or I'm going to Georgetown Hole or Edisto Bank. So, and I expect to be back about 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'll call you when I get in. That's a simple float plan. Hey, we're going up to Capers or Dewey's Inlet. We should be back around 3 or 4. That's letting a family member know, a friend know, so that everybody knows to look out for you, or your friends know and family know to look out for you. You can do a formalized float plan. For example, if you go over to the Bahamas and you're registered on the Department of Homeland Security website, you actually have to put in a float plan when you're leaving and when you're coming back. So that's a formalized Coast Guard float plan. Regardless of whether you're going out of the country with your boat or you're just around, it's always good to let folks know what your plan is for the day. No more questions for today. Anything else to add to what we've discussed today, Hector or Steve?
We pretty much covered everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you for watching our second episode of Longshore Lifelines. And if you got any other questions or any follow-up questions, you can reach us at area code 843-216-4700, or check us out at longshoreboats.com. And I hope we were able to answer a few of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you.